Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Leodar in the 3-minute pool on ICC. Leodar is playing the Alekine's defense against me, and I'm going to take a page out of one of my recent recommendations and play the 4 pawns attack against him. So I had a game against Brownie Baker in the 15-minute pool, and I discussed this exact line and how I like it for white. I'm not a huge expert beyond like the basic moves. Your knight c3 is the move, but I like this. I mean, it scores well against the Alekines, and it's a pretty easy line to learn. There's not anything too complicated, except for c5. Like c5 instead of knight c6 on move 6 is pretty sharp, so that has to be noted. So f6, I'll probably take on f6. I'm sure he'll take with the bishop. Queen d2. Queen d2, just defending the center. Yeah, looks fine. These pawns can be fragile, so you have to be cautious with them. But for the moment, I don't see anything unusual about the way I played this so far. I think he maybe b3 just to consolidate c4. Unless he can take on d4. I also thought about queen c1. Queen c1 might be a useful move. Queen c1, maybe he'll play bishop g4, though. It's possible bishop g4 is worth preventing. Yeah, maybe h3. Let's go h3. And we'll see what he does about d4. I don't think he can take on d4. At least not as of now. Let's go b3. If he didn't take on d4, he's not going to take on d4 on this move. All right, so that's a pretty aggressive try. Rook fe1 makes sense. What other moves make sense? Let's do rook fe1. Seems good. I'm a little down on time, so... Okay, now I'm thinking bishop f1 and try to go maybe queen f2 later. Okay, let's do that. If g4, always bishop takes h6 is a problem for him. This maneuver, bringing the queen to g7, is a little irritating because I can't advance this d-pawn, right? So... Okay, bishop d3, nothing doing. Maybe c5. Let's do c5, see how that works out. Try to put my bishop on c4. Maybe I could have done that last move, I don't know. Let's take now. If pawn takes, I'm thinking bishop d3. And if rook takes, bishop c4. I have a minute left, though, so I'm going to go fast. Yeah, bishop d3. I think I should eliminate that light square bishop. Queen g6 is probably decent.
Check.
Let's not trade queens. This looks awkward for him. Probably should play rook b8. Not exactly where he wants his rook, though. So rook b8, I'll play bishop f2. A little worried about g4, but I think that opens his king, so I'm not thinking that will lead to an advantage for black. So let's see if we can make up some time now. Let's give it a check. And if queen g6, maybe rook e6. No, he doesn't want that. Okay, well, what about knight e5? Looks okay. I'm going to pre-move this capture, because he has to take it one way or the other. Otherwise, I get knight g6 in. His queen's under attack. Okay, he threatens mate. Let's go here. Could have some problems with his king. Definitely could. King g2. Maybe I can go rook h1. Just trying to be heads up about tactics. My e5 pawn is kind of loose. He's going to f5 with his queen or with his knight. Okay, let's. I better try to trade. I'm getting a little nervous about his knight coming to f5 with so many heavy pieces on the file too. Wow, just going for this, huh? I think I can weather this storm. At least I think I can. You gotta run. You gotta hurry, though.
Check.
Oh,
Time warning.
Yeah, that was not a good decision by me. Just bringing my king up now.
Check.
Yeah, that check's annoying.
Check.
You can try to do that, yeah.
Check.
Offered him a draw.
Check. Check.
Let's see how this plays out. Yeah. All right, I'm losing now. All right. My time was pretty poor in that game. Well, that's too bad that I lost that ending. Yeah, I just spent too long in the middle game, I suppose. That's why 3-minute can be brutal sometimes. But my position was pretty good. I think around the time I played Queen b5, I probably have some small advantage, maybe nothing special. And he's pretty solid other than his rook being diverted to the b8 square. Yeah, I was just trying to hustle at the end, but clearly, missing moves like rook h7 and this rook ending. Let's have a look, though. So I mentioned that this line is a good way of playing against the Alekines. c5 can get pretty sharp, as I recall. This line I'm not as familiar with as knight c6. But c5, white goes d5, and then I think it's e6, which attacks white's center and also has some queen h4 plans in mind. This gets sharp. But yeah, knight c6, bishop e3. If knight f3, then bishop g4 is possible. So bishop e3 is a better way to defend the center. He played pretty fast at the beginning. He definitely seemed like he knew what he was doing at the outset of this. So f6. Pretty sure this is theory. Take. Maybe I have something better than queen d2. I don't know. Let's just flick on the engine. h3 gives a small edge to white. Nothing huge, though. Queen e1. Yeah, I was wondering if I could ever get queen e1 in. Maybe it's nothing, though. Take. Might be a little more comfortable for white. Space advantage, pretty typical for this line. So he took queen d2, queen e7, rook a d1. Yeah, and I was wondering if he could take on d4. I don't think it quite works, but say he takes with the knight, then I was thinking bishop takes. So that if c5, I have this attacking his queen. But I guess e5 is possible, isn't it? That's interesting, though. Take, rook takes d2, knight takes d2, uncovering an attack on his bishop. And I suppose if take and take, yeah, white has 2 minor pieces plus a rook for the queen. So no wonder that's advantageous to white. Yeah, there's various problems with taking on d4. Problem is, yeah, here he's used 14 seconds and I've used over a minute. That catches up with you fast in a 3-minute game. This is creative. g5 and queen g7. Maybe I should have gone c5 right away if I'm going to play c5, as opposed to playing bishop f1 and then doing c5 on the next move. Because if knight d5 is played and take, I'll probably want my bishop to come to c4 in the event of rook takes. So we'll compare that to the game continuation. Here, king h7. Bishop d3 now. Yeah, bishop d3 now is good. Okay. Because again, he cannot take on d4. If he takes on d4 with the knight, let's say, I can take with my knight. He takes here, and then I have check followed by bishop takes d4. So that doesn't work. And if he takes with the bishop, yeah, I have this, and then I take on d4. Or actually, probably take with the bishop first. So that doesn't work. So I played c5, though, instead. Knight d5, take, pawn takes. Guess my position isn't anything to write home about. Bishop e4 might have been a nice move, yeah. Try to anchor that bishop, try to exchange on his own terms.
Check.
So if I take, he gets to take with his d pawn and unleash pressure on the d4 pawn using his rook on d8. So take,
Check.
queen takes, queen g6. Yeah, it seems he's fine throughout. I thought I had a little something here, but apparently not. I mean, his structure is very solid. d4 can prove to be weak in a lot of lines.
Check.
Yeah, even knight e5. I guess I was just... my evaluation was off in this one. I thought in this position I was the one who was playing for an initiative, but nope. Knight e7. Not that I'm, like, much worse at this point, although maybe if he had... rook f5 could be interesting. Attacking this pawn and maybe having in mind the idea of swinging to h5. Seems like white has sufficient defensive resources, though.
Check.
Yeah, that sacrifice, while unsound, did cause me to have to go on the defensive. What should I do here? Just push the e-pawn. Okay. It's hard to avoid focusing on your king when your clock is ticking down and you're under some pressure. So a move like e6 is not an easy one to play. I think I did that.
Check.
Yeah, this transition into the endgame, I think the best I can do is a draw now. And even this I played inaccurately. Yeah, it should definitely take, and then after rook takes e6, give a check on d8, and then check on d7 and win the c-pawn. That would have been much better. And he should have brought his king up right away, as opposed to wasting time pushing the h-pawn. Okay. Then if king d3 here, yeah, and he'll be up a pawn with some chances, definite chances. I was hoping I could get king e5 in, but that didn't happen. Yeah, this was inaccurate. Rook e5 does look better. Then I can slide my king over to e4 if I get checked, and I'm also hitting his h-pawn. Should be a draw.
Check. Check.
Yeah, and with the time on the clocks, once we get to like here, it's, you know, I can't fault him at all for playing on because he has 15 more seconds than I do, so the position is totally drawn though. Okay, so yeah, I have to play faster in the opening. This can happen when I play lines I'm like not as familiar with. Like maybe e4 would have been better suited for a 5-minute game than a 3-minute game, considering how infrequently I play it. But yeah, I still do stand behind this recommendation. I like this line for white. So I have to look this up though because this seemed pretty natural. Maybe queen e1, but even queen e1 doesn't seem that groundbreaking here. Or actually queen e1 in this position. Yeah, that was it before trading on f6. So hope you guys enjoyed this 3-minute game, and I'll be back tomorrow with another blitz game. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.